The Roil Roundup is on! I'm John Levy. Everybody knows there is a monopoly problem on today's internet. The answer may not be what you think. I'm here to introduce a new app and website, www.roil.com, and to explain how we can use interconnection to defeat monopoly. Let's go! As polarized as politics are today, the problem of online monopoly is a rare point of bipartisan agreement.
It's not good. A small handful of powerful social media monopolies controls a vast portion of all public and private communications. They've had unchecked power to censor, restrict, edit, shape, hide, alter virtually any form of communication between private citizens or large public audiences. There's no precedent in American history for so small a number of corporations to control so large a sphere of human interaction.
The giant tech companies right now are eating up little tiny businesses, startups, and competing unfairly.
President Trump wants to address the monopoly problem by making biased internet companies easier to sue. What if there's a different approach? One that prevents monopolies in the first place. One inspired by America's history of ending monopolies in the past, specifically the telephone monopoly, using the concept of interconnection. For decades after the telephone was invented, its whole industry was dominated by one company, the American Telephone and Telegraph Company, AT&T. The telephone is a prior example of how network technologies tend to fall victim to monopoly. The phone companies used to build networks so that customers could only call other people on the same network. The company who gets an early lead in the market quickly becomes an unstoppable behemoth, because what's the use of having a phone when only a few people are on your network? If new users get a phone, they want to use the same network that everyone is already using, leading to a quick monopoly. Economists call this phenomenon economies of scale in consumption, and it is such a common market dynamic for network technologies that antitrust economists have also dubbed it the network effect. When you have a product where the more people who use it, the more desirable it becomes, that is a network, and it will inevitably descend into monopoly. This is a serious problem because when there is a monopoly, both innovation and consumer experience suffer. Did you ever notice that in old movies, there were only like 3 types of telephones? That's because AT&T made them all and had no incentive to make them better. People couldn't even buy phones back then. You had to rent them from AT&T, paying every month. The US government eventually brought an end to AT&T's telephone monopoly. The most important concept to accomplish that was the idea of interconnection, which was codified into federal law. The interconnection rule mandated that networks talk to each other to share telephone calls. This made it possible for a new phone company to arise because their users would be able to access the users on the other networks. The same thing needs to be done with today's internet. When I talk about networks on the internet, I don't mean the wires connecting people's houses. I mean the data that connects users in online networks. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and the other giants are all built around the concept of users posting content, which is then shared across a network of other users. Just like we did with the telephone, the law should require the traffic of posts to be shared across websites and apps. Fortunately, there is an existing technology that we can use to accomplish much of this. This technology is called RSS, and it is an alternative way for a computer to check a website. When using RSS, instead of delivering a visually laid out website, the web server delivers a listing of their posts. Roil collects these listings, lets you browse through them, and links you to enjoy the ones that interest you. You would be amazed how much great content Roil will link you to. YouTube channels, podcasts, subreddits, websites, and more. Roil is trying to enact a new vision to complement the traditional post and share model. Our vision is that instead of each website or app being a walled garden, Users can conveniently browse their interests in a single place, no matter what website that interest is posted on. In this vision, monopoly is impossible because another interconnection website could always check the same public RSS feeds that Roil does and offer up all the same content. I shouldn't stop before mentioning that Roil may be new, but it's already great to use. It's a place where you can find content you like, organize it, and save items for later. Roil is also a community, a place to share what you like with others, either in private or public groups, and discuss with each other about individual videos, podcasts, or other content. If you are like me and you are interested in solving the monopoly problem on the internet, I urge you to check out Roil.